guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103, a bit of a different video today. We're going to be reacting, recapping, and analyzing the quotes of Deco and Laporta in the media recently. Usually I just chuck this into the end of a news roundup video, which will be coming out tomorrow, but there's so much. That video tomorrow would have been maybe like an hour, 10 minutes long. So I thought, you know what, let me break it down. Let me give you guys the quotes in its own video. If you want to watch it, cool. If not, by all means, just tune in tomorrow for the news roundup video. But these quotes are huge. There are some massive updates around sporting wise of the club itself, and we're going to dive right into it. So first up is Deco's interview, I believe, with TV3, where he discussed a lot of the sporting aspects of Barcelona. So he's asked firstly on the DNA of Barcelona, saying that Barcelona's DNA for me is technical quality, playing individually. The Barcelona DNA is quality. Then there are models and designs, very rarity, but the DNA is quality, playing, and seeing something you like. Then he was asked on Chavi's situation, saying that I have already been asked about 10 times whether Chavi is leaving or not. I don't want Chavi to leave at the end of the season. We are in the league, we are in the Champions League. These are objectives to be met, and we can't be asking this all day. On his continuity, Chavi continues to tell us that his decision is irreversible. If something changes, he must let us know. If he tells us that he wants to continue, we should talk to him. On the new coach, there have been no negotiations with any coach. When you know your coach is leaving, we know who is available and who's not available. We are watching, but we have not made any moves yet. On Luis Enrique, I like him a lot. It's difficult to talk about coaches with whom they're not working with. He's a reference at all levels as a coach, as a manager, and as a person. He has all things to be a top coach in the world of football. Then he was asked about the Olympics and Euros this summer, a bit of a controversy, of course, with a lot of our younger players that can be participating in both. Deco said that as a club, we don't want any player going to the European Championship and the Olympics. They can go either one, but not both. The federation knows this, but we have to talk to the players and manage it. We will not try, but we have to talk to the players and manage it. We will try not to let it happen. So that's the club's point of view, as you already knew. He then asked on the future of Araujo, the Joaos, and Xavi, and all people who need contract renewals and our futures at Barcelona a bit in doubt. He said it's key to keep what we have. A winning team is not made by changing players every year. This squad has a lot ahead of it, an incredible desire to do important things. It's something that we have to take care of. I'm very happy, and it's not about to sell. As a Barcelona fan hearing this, very positive. The reality is, will this stick or not? That's what I'm personally worried about. Of course, you can say this, but it's all about action. I would love to not sell anyone, but I'll get rid of a few of the dead wood. Sign 2, maybe 3 big players in the summer and push forward. So if you told me right now, you sign a pivot, you sign a left winger, but that's your summer, but you keep everyone, I'll shake your hand right now. Happy days. And of course, that's how Deco sees it as well. Hopefully he can execute it. On the renewal of Araujo, Deco said Araujo will renew if he wants to. We will make an effort because he deserves it. The club's effort is to maintain what we have. So again, confirming that he wants to keep what we have and add to it. On Araujo's renewal, he said he'll renew if he wants to renew. So again, you have Araujo saying it's the club, I'm just waiting for the club to offer me. Deco saying if he wants to stay, he can stay. So hopefully we can get some pure negotiations happening soon, pure, actual discussions. Again, no renewal offer has been made officially to the club yet. Anyways, that's come out in the media. All there has been is one little meeting where they kind of just broke the ice and, said what's up, essentially. So hopefully we can see some progression in that sense. On the Joaos, neither of them are ours. We have not paid any transfer fee for them. They have helped us a lot on the pitch. If given the situation like last year, we want them with us next season. So confirming there, the objective is to keep both Joaos. On Xavi's recovery is going well. Xavi has a mental capacity different from the rest. He has a strong leadership. Finally, on the Champions League, now people are talking about winning the Champions League because we have reached the quarterfinals and we played good games against Naples, but being quite superior. Now people are encouraged because it's normal, but internally we've already believed that the competition, we believe that we have a team to compete in the Champions League. So of course now everyone's kind of gassed about the Champions League because we have a chance, we've been drawn on the easier side. But Deco is saying this is already the ambition at the club. We already knew we had a squad good enough, so being here is not really a surprise. Again, the objective was minimum quarterfinals. So I think the board right now are content. It's what we can do after this. Overall, strong interview. Of course, the big one's about the Araujo renewal, also on the continuation of Chavi, but gave us some good insights there on the future as well. The most important thing for me is about the squad. Deco's role, objective this season in the summer is to keep what we have and add to it. Hopefully, he can keep, he's not really a promise, but hopefully he can, execute what he wants to execute. I think it will be difficult, especially with financial fair play. But let's now get into the big one, and that's of course the interview of Joan Laporta, the president of Barcelona, who in the end has the final say-sos in regards to everything. Did a very, very long and in-depth interview with Mundo Deportivo. Let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. This is kind of broken up into 3 segments. The first segment is the kit sponsor situation. He was asked on the new kids shirt sponsor what's going on, and Laporta said right now it's in the air. There is Nike and there are Nike's competitors who are also interested. It is the market, and the market is telling us that Barcelona is worth more than what we have in the contract with Nike. And then there's the third way. The third way, of course, is doing it ourselves, and all 3 options are open. It is a very important decision. There have been 27 years with Nike. We had the periodic meeting. We've having meetings, and they have made an effort, and I have greatly appreciated it. But it's not enough, and we're going to decide what is best for Barcelona, the best option. And in this moment, I have to say they're all on the table. So again, confirming everything in the media, our contract with Nike undervalued. Nike have made an approval offer. Laporta appreciates that, but it's still not enough. And Nike's competitors are there, i.e. Puma, third option manufacturer ourselves, i.e. using Hummels as the manufacturing company. And he says everything is open and on the table. Then asks on when Barcelona will choose its new shirt sponsors, and that when the time is right, we will think of the right time to announce it. In fact, the decision has already been made in this regard. So I guess he's meaning in terms of the timing. Now, of course, we know that next season 100% Nike will supply the kits. Next season after that is, of course, where the question marks come in. Then asked on how choosing a new sponsor is going right now, saying that no problems because it's a business. We already know that there are a lot of t-shirts that are made at the price they go for, and the margins are there, and the delivery times and the cost they have, and the financing the working capital represents, which refers to the production of the t-shirts. And in that sense, we have everything under control. Then Laporta was asked if sticking with Nike is the easiest option. He said that sometimes the easiest, though, isn't the best. Very professional answer from Laporta. And now what we want is the best for Barcelona, as always, and the differences are many, and we at a time in our history in which we are overcoming a very complicated situation. Now that we are in a process of economic recovery, we cannot do is go down. Barcelona must have the best contract in the world market, but the best contract on the market. And as I do in my first stage, the contract we currently have is not the best on the market, and Barcelona is a club that sells the most shirts in the world. You must have the best contract on the market, and if not, fortunately, we have other options. So again, he's saying, look, shirt sales are through the roof, and we're being very much underpaid. So now we're going to act on that underpayment. We're coming off a very poor economic situation. We're now, not the healthiest, but slowly but surely recovering. But now this is the big moment to really, push that recovery process. And he's absolutely spot on. I think you and I can both agree this kit sponsor situation, he's handled it to absolute perfection. He's doing it right. When Nike are paying us 80 million fee fixed per season, plus I think 20 or 30 million euros in variables, you have Puma paying 120 to Man City. You have Adidas paying 120 to Real Madrid. I think Bayern Munich get around 100 to 110 from Adidas as well. We're so undervalued, especially, you're talking 30, 40 million difference, and we are selling the most shirts in the world. So that's the first part on the kit sponsorship. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty stuff on the club, and this is some big stuff. His first asked on Chavi. Chavi staying at the club. What are your thoughts? What's going to happen? What's your analysis? Laporta said, I would like Chavi to stay, but I'll say one thing. We are not talking about it. I've already told him that all the coaches want to come to Barcelona. At least I'm receiving proposals from everywhere, and I've told Chavi that we respect the fact that he will stay until the end of the season, and that is his decision. I've told Chavi that we are doing well. We're getting better and better. Look, since Chavi announced his departure, we've won again. We're winking at each other as if they say that something's going to happen here. This is how it's going. It's going better, and the objectives are being reached. Interesting. Chavi already knows that I would like him to continue. I've already told him that. I asked him if there's any way he would change his mind, but I saw him under a lot of pressure. I could see it in his expression. He keeps on saying that he wants to leave at the end of the season, but we'll see. Let's not put too much pressure on ourselves right now. Right now, everything is working out well. When I asked Chavi to stay again, depending on how the season goes, he already knows, and at this point, he wants to win and finish the season in a stage of glory, or think about it, maybe to continue. Wow. So Laporta is basically saying that he wants Chavi to stay, which we already knew. But him saying it is quite crazy. He's saying that right now the objectives are being met. I mean, quarterfinals of the Champions League. We're in the race for La Liga, kind of, barely. Knocked out of both cups though. So I don't know how so the objectives are reached in terms of success, and maybe progressing the team forward, the promotion of youth, all that stuff you consider together. Maybe yes, Chavi, everything's being achieved, but purely on trophies, I would say Chavi right now is barely surviving, and there's still I think there's a greater chance we go trophyless than win either La Liga or the Champions League. But anyways, let's continue on. He's then asked, in any case, Xavi has been left in denial with the confidence they are giving to the young players. You have been brave to put your prestige in the hands of 16 and 17-year-olds. And Laporta said, this is one of the positive aspects about Xavi as a coach. He will be remembered for this and hopefully more. He has had the courage. Xavi comes from La Masia, and he always says one thing: La Masia will never let you down. He refers not only to the talent, but also what you have to give in the game, like Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez, Kubarsi, Balde, Gavi, Pedri. Chucked in Arujo for his one season as a Barca B player, but it is what it is. The other day, Chavi gave his debut in the league to Casado, who had already been called up for many games. Chavi has to be recognizing that nothing is improvised. Chavi told us that he would make a Casado play at the right time. He played against Antwerp. It didn't go well, not only because the lad didn't play well, because the team, came from a while and we didn't do very well against Antwerp. And against Atletico Madrid, Casado came on for a few minutes, gave the love that we expected from him, and Chavi even studied and planned everything very carefully. It comes from the personal experience to decide when a player should come on. So that's the thought process of promoting youth, not just we're short numbers, get in there. Everything is well planned, well coordinated, especially with Casado as well, a player that apparently Chavi thinks highly of, but we have barely seen this season. But of course, now he got his first minutes against Atletico. Maybe in the future against Las Palmas, Cadiz, we can see him coming off more off the bench. But again, Laporta absolutely loves that youthful promotion of Chavi for La Masia into the first team, of course. Laporta was then asked, if Chavi does leave, what profile do you want for the new coaching position? And Laporta said, we are very clear about that here. The coach who comes in will have to adapt to our structure. That's how Barcelona works. It cannot be that every time a coach comes in, the structure changes, and that will be fundamentally pessimistic. Barcelona is above any coach, any player, any president, and any director. I had the honor and responsibility of defending Barcelona's interests, and it's very important that now that we have to build a sporting structure that works better and better. It is difficult to achieve this, and it has been done by having a basis level that we have with worldwide recognition by the best youth academy in the world that generates the best players. Barcelona's style has been in line because there is a technical secretary, a director of football, who makes decisions on the transfers in a very coordinated way and in full harmony with the coach and the technical staff. There are a number of analytics, scouts, coaches, and professionals who work to make this work, and the new coach will be given the manual book and to see what he have at Barcelona that he will have to take advantage of and follow. Beyond the fact that the new coach will always have his own football ideas, which must fit into our footballing ideas that we have, the genuine way of playing that Barcelona has, which is what we think is the best way to compete and win. Again, very thoughtful answer. They basically say that the coach who comes in has to adapt to us, but also have some of the styles of Barcelona as well. So pretty much saying everything that we already know, but the way he just coordinates it and presents it, you cannot get more any simplified than that. It talks about the structure as well, about having president, sporting director, of course, Deco, Chavi, technical staff, and everyone works together in harmony to produce what they think is the best way to win and the best way to compete as well. Sometimes people say that our system is finished. I don't share this opinion at all. We cannot compete to run with teams that are more physically than we are with those that run. I'm talking things means financially there. We compete by having the ball, and sometimes I see Premier League games that are very attractive because it gives and takes. In those broken games, we go and we play there and we give them a shake. It's very clear to me. I watch quite a few Premier League games, but with our system of football, we give them a shake. Then asked on Luis Enrique, I don't know why Deco and Laporta are so honed in on Luis Enrique. But, shout out Lucho. Absolutely love him. Laporta said, he is a person I like very much. He has character, personality. He's very good, very much his own man, and I like his type of person. But we have not spoken to Luis Enrique or anyone else because we have respect for Chavi. I say that whoever wants to come to Barcelona will have to wait until the end because we are not going to touch anything until Chavi makes his final decision. This is the big bombshell for me. We're not going to talk to any manager until the end of the season. That for me is big. Of course, Champions League final is on June the 1st. Chavi said he'll continue as a Barcelona manager until June the 30th. So probably, maybe plan pre-season and stuff like that. I've been saying a lot on streams and on the channel, we need to know who the manager is by June the 1st. I still stand by that. You cannot go into the January transfer window, into summer pre-season training planning without knowing who the coach is. I'm telling you right now, if we win the double, Xavi's still going to leave. I am so confident that even if we win the Champions League, we win La Liga, we win both, we win neither, I still think Xavi's walking. But the club, for some reason, feels like there's some sort of optimism that Xavi might end up changing his mind. I personally don't think he will, but if the club think that, they could think that. And look, I would love Xavi to stay. I think there's no really manager out there that I think that would come in and have an equal level or better than Xavi. Hansi Flick under, De Zerbi under, Tuchel under. The only people that can come in and really rival Xavi, I would say, okay, this is, equal level or better. Luis Enrique, Pep Guardiola, maybe Arteta, but I'm not too keen on that either, but I would accept that. So I can understand the club's point of view. They're mainly really hoping on Xavi stays because the replacements out there aren't really as optimal as you want to be. Laporta continues on by saying that if Chavi makes a decision to leave, those who really want to come to Barcelona will have to wait, and they will wait. If we don't wait, nothing happens, and we have a solution. I am very encouraged, very hopeful, working hard to achieve what we have set out to do this year, which is not easy, and I am referring to the sporting level. So apparently they have things planned, so we'll see. This is not a fantasy today. I think that we can say that finally that this whole process of this team has led to us being able to dream, as a coach said, is a fantasy that we can come true. We are live in La Liga and the Champions League. I expect that this is the beginning of our season. So Channel Laporta is very optimistic. I'm not the only one who believes in this Barcelona. There are many of us who believe. I believe that you have to believe. If you're in football, you have to believe in your chances, that the work you do will bear fruit. What I ask is that those who don't believe in us, those who are scared because sometimes it's terrifying to win, those who are catastrophic, those who are not interested in us winning, please leave us alone. You have to stay calm. I respect all decisions, absolutely, but let us work and let us dream, because this is football and it's very complicated for a footballing club of Barcelona's stature to achieve its objectives. Nothing is easy. What's required to do is work as well. Never throw in the towel, because you never know that our club will always fight until the end of all competitions we take part of, and the part of our competitive essence as well. Pretty much saying, we're in it till the end. Never say never, never say die, and we'll wait and see how things turn out. Again, very optimistic, but he kind of has to do that as the president of Barcelona. He's not going to sit there saying, look, we're probably not going to win either of them, but we're going to give it a big go. He's obviously going to be very more encouraged and enthusiased than that. He continues by saying that we've already had the level of demand. Fortunately, that does not allow us to throw in the towel halfway through the season. In football, all of us who have been in the sport for years know that a season is very long. A team like ours was a formation because we have incorporated young players with a lot of presence, but above all, with splendid future. This gives us a sense of security for the future as well. Everything required a mature process. Deco has worked very well in developing a squad, and Chavi is coaching in a masterful way. Quick, just to jump in here. Deco did not work very well to develop the squad. he came in the summer. He came in August? Bro, you could give Deco some credit for Victor Roque. The Joaos, Kunde, Inigo Romeo were all Mateo Aleman and Jordi Cruyff. He's not done nothing since. So I get it. He doesn't want to say Aleman and Cruyff and stuff like that. Maybe even give Deco a little bit of credit, but bloody hell. Anyways, back to Laporta, and that's where I asked that for those who don't believe in us, let us work and let us dream. The young players are somehow taking a more of a leading role. Those who are already more experienced and are making it go into synchronizing way. The dressing room is more stronger than ever, more coordinated with a clear objective. We're going to fight to win. In the end, we may win or we may lose, but at least we will have the experience, something beautiful moments in Barca history, a Champions League quarterfinal, and we hope to reach the semifinals. Then we'll keep talking on La Liga. It's there. We're 8 points behind, but we don't throw in the towel, and that's why we are already in second place. Of course, when Chavi resigned, I believe we were barely 4th place, and now we're a clear confirmed 2nd place. So again, optimism is there, and in terms of La Liga, we have to, go into the Clasico, needing, of course, must win. 4 points, 5 points behind. I mean, Real Madrid have one hand on the title. Like, I'm going to be completely honest at this point, especially thinking now we have 9 games remaining. We still have to play, Girona. We have some difficult games. A final day of the season, we have to go to Sevilla, Ramon Sanchez, Pizjuan. It's still, I think, favors Real Madrid, but we know they might flop, and we will be there if they flop. Is pretty much what Laporta is saying at this point. Back to Laporta. The truth is that when Xavi told us that he had decided not to continue, but that he would finish the season, we accepted it because of who Xavi is. This is not usual in football, but I think that with Xavi we can make this exception. We also helped Xavi, who is a legend of our club, not to finish halfway through the season. With this effort, I saw him eager to finish the season. So he's basically saying that if this is any other manager other than Xavi, we would have binned them off pretty much. So pretty much when Chavi said to them, look, I'm done at the end of the season, but I will finish the season if you want me to. Laporta said if this is any other manager, he would have sacked it off because it's Chavi. He's a legend, all that sort of stuff. He gave him the benefit of the doubt, and look how it's turned out. Fair enough to him. Back to Laporta. Chavi, who has also had a lot of experience in the Barcelona dressing room, said, I will also be relieved of the pressure that I feel now, and I'm convinced that the players will be relieved because some of them are still very young. This generates a pressure that they are not used to and then stifles them so that we can think that we can do a bit better. Apart from the pressure, we had injuries, but we also had, misfortune with Frankie de Jong, who's been injured twice. Gabi, who's strong character, he's missed because of his, transmission, his enthusiasm, and his strength. Baldo, we missed him a lot before his return at the end of the season. We lost out on Marcos Alonso, Ter Stegen. These are misfortunes that can happen to all teams and in some way can make up for them better or worse depending on what you have. Xavi's been doing it masterfully and sometimes against everything, against the public opinion, because here it is obvious and normal that everyone has an opinion in football, but for me, the one that counts, the one that's most professional, and Xavi is most professional, and Deco is a professional. So pretty much saying that, look, the reality is the season hasn't gone the best way, but we had a lot of obstacles, and we still think that with those obstacles that we had to dodge, we're still doing all right. And he sees, the work of Xavi and Deco absolutely perfectly fine. And I can understand why he sees that, but I think that when we are hitting the January patch where we absolutely did shite, I'm not saying doubts came into the mind of Laporta, but I definitely think that he was a big concern. But now that we're kind of on the balance, we beat Atletico Napoli, he's doing this interview right afterwards, he's going to be on a bit of a high, and that's of course understandable. Back to Laporta, Deco hasn't stopped telling me since the beginning that we have a great squad, that sooner or later the talent in the squad was going to come out. It's not only the talent, but also the fact that the team is becoming more and more assembled, more united, with more optimism as well. Every player knows what they are. Every player knows what they are playing for, and as time goes by, they are maturing. I'm very happy with the work of Xavi, his staff, Deco, and his team. Laporta was then asked, what do you mean by those who don't believe in this Barcelona? And Laporta responded by saying that we have enemies, adversity, and people who defend the interests of other clubs. That's where I don't get involved. I'm talking about those Barca fans who are scared of the possibility of winning. This is a very culé. Sometimes I have to ask those and those who don't believe in us to let us work, which is what we're doing. I assist. Let us dream. And finally, Laporta concluded off by saying that we are dreaming of something that is not a fantasy, that today is a reality. We are in the Champions League quarterfinals with a very tough tie against PSG. We had the second leg at home, which is good for us, and the team is now super motivated. And breathe. Wow. Very much a strong in-depth interview. There's actually a third part where he talks about suing Liberal Football Finance, which I think comes out after this video comes out, so maybe I'll talk about that in the news video tomorrow. But he talked about suing Liberal Football Finance and all that kind of stuff, the details behind that, so I'll talk about that in the next video. But very, very strong interview, very charismatic, very in-depth as well, basically saying on the whole team right now that he thinks we're doing well, he thinks that the objectives are being reached, and he hopes that Chavi pretty much stays. And the fact that they're going to wait until Chavi gives them the final answer to look for a new coach is a big question for me. He also mentioned in this video interview about Javi keeps offering him Hansi Flick. He said, look, Hansi Flick is not the only coach that we've been offered. We've been offered so many coaches since Xavi announced his resignation, but we're not talking to anyone. We're not negotiating with anyone until we get the final answer from Xavi. So again, very clear that Laporta wants to stick with Xavi. Don't blame him, honestly, but again, the optimism is there to, achieve something by the end of this season. But this can all backfire when we go trophyless, so you never know. But overall, very, very strong interviews by both Deco and Laporta, giving us fans definitely real confidence in the team, the players, the staff, and the board who work behind the scene. But again, everything is to be decided, especially this summer, and by the end of the season, we'll have to wait and see how everything turns out. Of course, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on both interviews, your thoughts on what Deco said, what thoughts on Laporta said, of course, from the Deco point of view, the Araujo renewal, the signing of Joao, and of course, on the Laporta side, him wanting Chavi to stay and him believing in this team that they can do something by the end of the season. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. take care, and Forza Barca.
Okay.